I found a door in the woods that wasn't there yesterday. I grew up in a small rural town where everyone knew each other, and nothing much ever changed. The kind of place where you could leave your front door unlocked without worrying. The woods around my house had always been my favorite escape. I knew every trail, every fallen tree, every patch of mushrooms. But about 2 weeks ago, something appeared in those woods that wasn't supposed to be there. It was a door. Just a plain wooden door standing in the middle of a clearing, no frame, no walls, no house. It was wedged into the ground, leaning slightly forward like someone had just stuck it there and forgotten about it. The weirdest part? I swear it hadn't been there the day before. At first, I thought it was a prank. Some kids from town messing around. But when I touched the knob, it felt warm. Like a pulse. I tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. The handle rattled, but the door stayed locked. That should have been the end of it. I should have walked away and forgotten about it. But the next day, when I went back, the door was open. And behind it was not the woods. It looked like the inside of a hallway, narrow, wallpaper peeling, dim yellow light flickering from a bulb overhead. The air that poured out smelled like mildew and something metallic, like rust or blood. I stood there for 10 minutes, frozen. My brain kept saying, "This is impossible. This shouldn't exist." But my body? My body wanted to step inside. So I did. The moment I crossed the threshold, the air shifted. The woods behind me vanished, and when I turned around, the door was gone. Just endless hallway stretching in both directions. The wallpaper was patterned with faded flowers, 70s style. The carpet was damp under my shoes. Every so often, I'd pass a door along the hallway. Some were shut tight, others slightly ajar. I didn't want to open them. But the noises made me. Whispers, scratching, faint crying. Each door I passed seemed to breathe, like something was pressing against it from the other side. My heart pounded so hard I thought I'd pass out, but I couldn't stop walking. Eventually, I reached a door that was wide open. Inside was a room that looked exactly like my bedroom at home. Same bed, same posters, same pile of laundry in the corner. But on the bed, curled up with his back to me, was me. I swear to God, it was me. Same clothes I had been wearing yesterday. Same haircut. Same scar on my arm. I stepped forward, and the version of me on the bed sat up. Slowly. Like it had been waiting for me. Its face was wrong. Too wide, too pale, its smile stretched just a little too far. "You shouldn't be here," it whispered in my voice. I ran. I sprinted down the hallway, past door after door, until I tripped and hit the floor hard. My nose bled onto the carpet, but I didn't stop. Eventually, I found the wooden door again, the one standing alone. I shoved it open, and this time I stumbled back into the woods, gasping for air. The door slammed shut behind me. And disappeared. I told myself it was a dream, or maybe I'd had some kind of mental break. But when I got home, there was blood on my shirt. My nose was swollen. And on my bed, lying neatly folded, were the clothes I'd been wearing yesterday. Clothes I don't remember taking off. Since then, I can't sleep. I hear scratching behind my bedroom wall every night. Sometimes, when I walk past a mirror, my reflection lingers a second too long. And just this morning, I saw it again. The door. Back in the woods. Open. And I think this time, whatever is inside wants to come out. The door followed me home. It's been 4 days since I last posted. I wasn't sure if I should write this, but the things happening around me have gotten so terrifying that I need someone, anyone, to know what's going on in case I don't make it through this. When I ended my last post, I said the door was back in the woods. That's not exactly true anymore. The door isn't just there. It's moving. The second night after I first saw it reappear, I heard creaking outside my window. Not branches in the wind, not an animal. A slow, deliberate creak, like an old hinge straining under weight. I pulled back the curtain, and I swear to God, I saw it. The same wooden door, standing at the edge of my backyard, perfectly upright. No walls, no frame, just the door. It wasn't there when I got home earlier. It wasn't supposed to be there at all. But under the moonlight, I could see the knob turning. Slowly. I slammed the curtains shut and didn't sleep all night. The next morning. Gone. Not a trace. But the grass where it stood was dead. The voices. I tried to ignore it. Pretend it was stress, or maybe some kind of hallucination. But then the voices started. At first, I thought it was my TV left on in the background. But when I muted it, I still heard them. Faint, muffled whispers, like a dozen people talking behind a wall. They always say the same things. You shouldn't be here. We're waiting. Let us in. Sometimes, it's my own voice whispering back at me. I live alone. The second encounter. 2 nights ago, I decided I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed a flashlight and went out into the woods. My hands were shaking the entire time, but I needed to know if the door was there. It was. But it wasn't just standing still this time. It was open. The hallway beyond it looked exactly the same as before, damp carpet, flickering lights, endless rows of doors. But this time, I noticed something I hadn't before. There were shadows. Not cast by me, not cast by the light. They moved along the hallway walls, tall and thin, crawling over the peeling wallpaper. Their limbs bent at angles that didn't look human. One of them stepped closer to the threshold. And that's when I realized the truth. They weren't shadows at all. They were waiting. The door at home. I ran. I didn't go back into the hallway, didn't cross the threshold. I just bolted home, my lungs burning, my legs cramping. But when I stumbled through my front door and collapsed on the floor, I froze. Because the door was already inside my house. Not in the woods. Not in the backyard. Standing right there in my living room. Wide open. The hallway stretched out of it like a tumor growing into my home. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. My flashlight flickered and died, leaving only the yellowish glow spilling from the door. And in that glow, I saw something standing at the far end of the hallway. It was me. But taller. Thinner. Its head tilted to one side, its grin impossibly wide. It raised a hand and beckoned. I don't remember moving. I don't remember breathing. I just remember slamming the door shut as hard as I could. The sound it made echoed like a gunshot. When I opened my eyes, it was gone. No door. No hallway. Just my living room again. But the carpet where the door had stood. Soaking wet. The dreams. Since that night, I can't sleep without dreaming of the hallway. Every time, I wake up standing at one of the doors inside it. Last night, the door I stood before had my name carved into it. The wood was cracked, the letters jagged, like they'd been scratched in with claws. I didn't open it. I couldn't. But I could hear something on the other side. It was crying. And it sounded exactly like me. The warning. Today, something new happened. I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside was an old photograph, yellowed and curling at the edges. It showed a group of people standing in front of that same wooden door. I recognized one of them immediately. It was my grandmother. She died 20 years ago. On the back of the photo, in faded ink, someone had written. Don't open your door. What now? I don't know what this means. I don't know why my family is connected to this thing, or why it chose me. But every night, it gets closer. Last night, when I went to the bathroom, I caught something in the mirror. For half a second, my reflection wasn't me, it was the other version of me. The one from the hallway. And it whispered something I can't get out of my head. Next time, you won't wake up here. I'm writing this with all the lights on, my front door barricaded with furniture. But deep down, I know it won't matter. Because the door isn't outside anymore. It's inside me. I feel it, pulsing, waiting to open. And when it does, I don't think I'll be the one who walks out. The hallway wants me back. I didn't sleep last night. Not because I didn't try, but because every time I closed my eyes, the door opened in my head. I could hear the hinges creak. I could smell that damp hallway air seeping into my dreams. And worst of all, I could feel someone, something, standing right beside my bed. When I snapped awake, the room was empty. But the impression of weight on the mattress beside me was still there, pressed deep into the sheets. It's getting harder to tell where the dreams end and reality begins. The photograph. After my last post, I kept staring at that old photograph I found in the package. My grandmother, standing with 4 other people in front of the door. They all looked serious, like they weren't posing for a picture but documenting something important. I didn't recognize the other faces at first, but after staring long enough, I realized one of them looked familiar. It was my father. Younger. But that couldn't be right. My father never mentioned this door, never talked about anything supernatural. He left when I was 10, and the only time we spoke afterward was at my grandmother's funeral. And yet there he was in the photograph, standing in front of the door with his hand on the knob. On the back of the picture, beneath the faded warning, there was something else scratched in with a pen. One of us must always guard it. Digging into the past. I spent all morning digging through my grandmother's old boxes in the attic. She'd left them behind when she died, and my mother never touched them. Most of it was junk, old letters, recipes, photos of family gatherings. But then I found a notebook. Leather-bound, brittle, the kind that falls apart if you breathe too hard on it. Inside, my grandmother had written journals. Most of it was unreadable, the ink smudged and faded. But a few entries stood out. They were dated between 1958 and 1963. Here's what I could make out. The door appeared again. This time near the creek. Samuel says we cannot let it open. We took turns watching. At night, I heard it whisper my name. It knows us. My father went inside. He never came back. The door closed for 3 years after that. We thought it was gone. But it always comes back. Always. There were more, but one entry made my stomach drop. If the chosen one refuses, the hallway will take them by force. The phone call. After finding that journal, I tried calling my dad. He didn't answer. I left 3 voicemails, begging him to explain what this was. That night, around 2 a.m., my phone rang. It was him. His voice sounded older, weaker, like he hadn't spoken in years. Listen to me, he said. Do not open it. Whatever it shows you, whatever you hear, it's not real. That thing wears faces. It knows how to make you listen. You have to fight it. I asked him about the photograph. About Grandma. About what guarding the door meant. He went silent for a long time. Then he whispered. It's your turn now. And hung up. I haven't been able to reach him since. The return of the door. Yesterday, I walked into my kitchen to grab coffee and nearly dropped the mug. The door was there. Right against the far wall, where my fridge should have been. The hallway stretched out, glowing with that same sickly yellow light. But this time, the door didn't wait for me to open it. It swung wide on its own. And I saw myself again, my double. Standing halfway down the hallway. It looked worse than before. Taller, skinnier, its skin stretched thin like parchment. Its eyes were too big for its face, bulging slightly, glassy like a doll's. It didn't speak this time. It just raised one hand and pointed at me. Then it turned and walked through one of the doors along the hallway wall. The one with my name carved into it. Before I could stop myself, I stepped forward. The moment my foot touched the threshold, I felt hands grab my ankle. Cold, clammy fingers wrapping tight. I yanked back and screamed, falling to the floor. The door slammed shut. When I opened my eyes, the fridge was back where it belonged. But the carpet beneath me, soaked again. The dream that wasn't a dream. Last night, I dreamed, or maybe didn't dream, that I was already inside the hallway. I walked to the door with my name. This time, it wasn't just carved in, it was bleeding. Thick, dark liquid ran down the wood and pooled on the floor. From behind the door came the sound of someone begging. Please. Please let me out. I can't see. It's so dark. The voice was mine. But it wasn't my voice. It was older, more desperate, like a version of me that had been trapped inside for years. I reached for the knob. My hand shook. Every instinct screamed at me not to touch it. But when my fingers brushed the cold metal, I woke up. Standing in front of my bedroom door. Hand on the knob. And the carpet under my feet was wet again. The truth about the hallway. This morning, I went back to the woods. I don't even know why anymore. Maybe part of me hoped the door wouldn't be there, and all of this would turn out to be some psychotic break. But it was there. Closed this time. And nailed to it, with a rusted iron spike, was another photograph. This one showed the same group as before, but the faces were different. They'd changed. Warped. Their eyes were black, their mouths twisted into inhuman grins. Except my grandmother. She was the only one still normal. On the back, in her handwriting, was one last note. It always takes one of us. If you don't choose, it will choose for you. What now? I don't know what to do anymore. The door follows me. The hallway haunts my dreams. My family knew about it, and they lied, or they hid it, or maybe they were trying to protect me. But now it's my turn. I think I finally understand. The hallway doesn't just want to scare me. It doesn't just want to take me. It wants to replace me. And judging by the way my reflection lingers in mirrors, smiling just a little too long. It might already have started. I'm writing this while the house creaks around me. Every sound makes me jump. Every shadow looks wrong. I know tonight, the door will open again. And when it does, I'll have to decide, step inside willingly, or wait for it to drag me in. Either way, I don't think I'll be the one posting here tomorrow. Inside the door. I told myself I wouldn't open it. I swore I would never step inside again. But the door doesn't care what I want. The night it pulled me in. It started yesterday around 3 a.m. I woke to the sound of scratching, not against my walls this time, but directly against my bedroom door. Scratch. 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 When I sat up, I saw the knob turning. Slowly, steadily. I grabbed the baseball bat I keep under my bed and stumbled toward it, heart pounding. The scratching stopped. The knob stilled. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then the door swung open on its own. And instead of my dark hallway outside, I was staring at the hallway. That same endless corridor. The yellow lights buzzing. The damp carpet stretching forever. Before I could run, something hooked around my wrist. I didn't see it, I just felt ice-cold fingers dig into my skin. And in one violent yank, I was pulled across the threshold. I screamed, clawing at the frame, but my nails just tore against the wood. My bedroom vanished. The door slammed shut behind me. The hallway again. It's different when you're inside too long. The air is heavy, suffocating. It feels like being underwater, every breath thick and wrong. The walls shift when you're not looking. I swear I'd glance at the peeling wallpaper, and when I looked back, the flowers would be arranged differently. Sometimes the carpet squelches as if something underneath is moving. I don't know how long I wandered. Time doesn't work here. My phone is useless, no signal, no clock, the battery stuck at 3%. I passed door after door. Some rattled violently, as if something on the other side was begging to get out. Others whispered my name. But eventually, I found the one with the bleeding letters again. My name carved deep, dripping fresh red down the wood. And this time, I couldn't resist. What was inside my door? I opened it. The room looked like my bedroom. Perfectly identical. Same posters, same bed, same pile of laundry. But on the bed lay someone. It was me. Not the warped, grinning version I'd seen before. No, this one looked exactly like me. Same clothes, same scar, same tired expression. He sat up slowly and stared at me. His eyes were wide, terrified. "You have to help me," he said, his voice raw. "I've been here for years. You're the one who left me behind." I shook my head. "That's impossible. I just got here." But he grabbed my arm, nails digging in. "No. Don't you understand? Every time you leave, one of us stays. We're split in two. That's how the hallway feeds. That's why it never dies." His face twisted in panic. "If you go, I stay. If I go, you stay. That's the rule." And then I heard it, laughter, echoing from somewhere deeper in the hallway. Low, guttural, inhuman. The other me's eyes widened. "They're coming. Decide now. The chase." The walls began to groan. Doors rattled open. Shapes poured out, tall, thin, black silhouettes with twisted limbs. Their eyes glowed faintly, like coals in the dark. They rushed toward us, their movements jerky, too fast. I slammed the bedroom door shut and backed away, but the other me was screaming, pounding from the inside. "Don't leave me here. Don't leave me." I ran. I didn't look back. My lungs burned, my legs heavy, but I kept going. The hallway seemed endless, stretching longer the faster I moved. The shadows followed, their limbs scraping the walls, their whispers crawling into my skull. Stay. Ours. Trade places. I don't know how, but eventually I saw it, the wooden door. The one that leads back. Standing crooked in the hallway, glowing faintly with moonlight leaking through the cracks. I dove for it, slammed my shoulder against it, and tumbled out into the woods. Back home. I woke up lying in the dirt, the trees swaying overhead. My chest ached, my arm bruised where the other me had grabbed it. But I was home. Or at least, I thought I was. When I stumbled back to my house, everything looked normal. Too normal. The fridge hummed. The lights worked. My reflection in the window stared back at me. But when I went to my bedroom, I froze. The bed was messy. Sheets tangled, pillow indented. Like someone else had just been sleeping there. The worst part. I checked the mirror again, just to convince myself everything was fine. But the reflection smiled a second too late. And its lips moved even after mine had stopped. Next time, it whispered. "You'll be the one trapped inside. I don't know how much longer I have."